Hello, hi everybody. How are we doing? This is Labake Working Mom Diary, and today we are going to be hosting Irene, as we're going to be talking about common mistakes we make when we are sex educating our children. So please join in and share this with every mom that you know, especially moms that have girl children or girl child. Thank you very much for joining in. I'm just going to pin the topic and wait for Irene to join in. Now, how is everybody doing? How is our weekend going? So let me reason. Okay. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Send it to all your mom friends. Send it to all the moms that have girl child or girl children. Hey, sorry. You say you are stressed. Sorry. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Cute Excel. Hi, Grace. Hi, Mercy. Hi, Stand Down 22. So I'm just going to wait for Irene to join in. My weekend has been a rush so far, but it's getting better little by little. So let me see if um, okay, she's here. So let me just send a request to her. Hi,
Hey,
hello.
Mama. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. I don't know if you're in Nigeria, so let me just say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me today, Mom.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for this. It's a very interesting topic. When you sent it, I was like, we really need this. Especially because we are not talking about just sex education, but the mistakes that we are making. Or
Yes.
yeah. Please, everybody, send to girl moms, send to boy moms, moms to be, everybody, send to them, let them join in. Hey, Tochi, hello. Yeah, so we are just going to jump right into it. Irene is an educator and also a girl coach. And she does this. If you go to her page, in fact, if you sit down on her page, she has so much information on her page when it comes to raising girls. If I don't have a girl child, but I plan to have very soon, by God's grace. So
Amen.
there's no knowledge that is lost.
Yes.
Can you just give us a brief intro about yourself before we dive into the topic?
All right. So my name is Irene Bangwell. I'm so happy to be hanging out with you for the first time today. Thank you for making the time to have me share on your handle.
Thank you
So
so
my
much.
name is Irene Bangwell. I'm a mom. I have two daughters. I was raised by a single mom, and I just literally saw her journey, living and raising me all by herself, 100%. And I saw what having me as a teen did to her dreams and her ambitions. You know, those moments where I remember in 2021, I had just either 2021 or 2019, I had just finished launching a book, and someone just told me these are the things your mom wanted to do. And thing
Mhm.
is, I never saw her there. So
Hmm.
after I came, I was just a priority. There was no need for dreaming and ambition and talent. My mom used to be an athlete as a teenager in secondary school, playing ball for our state. So the moment she had me, it kind of just stopped everything for her. And so
Yeah.
she had to now start living this alternative reality of, oh, I'm now a mom. No need for You know, those kinds of stuff. And so it
Yes,
really hurts
yes.
me that whoever was responsible for impregnating her literally went on and had his life 100%, but her life had to change.
Yeah.
And when I looked back, I saw that there were knowledge gaps, there were support gaps, there was mentoring gaps. And so, in coming out to be a girls' coach, my goal is how can we provide girls enough knowledge so that they can make wholesome decisions? How do we support girls as they are evolving?
Mm.
If you feel like this, if someone says this to you, this is what you do. Because I feel like the world will never know what God had designed for my mom's life to be. And there are
Mm.
people that just walk up to me and say, Irene, your mom must be so proud that this is the child she raised. And I say, look at this. She is proud of the child she raised, but I'm not living her life. I'm living mine. It would have been
Yeah.
beautiful for her to have her life
Our own
and
life.
still raise a girl like me. And
Mm.
a girl like me can be raised in a home by two, a man and a woman that love and honor each other. So I'm not a peculiar story that could not have happened if things worked out better for her. So I'm just out here just ensuring that we just stop going to talk to girls or talk at girls. We're actually doing equipping. We're giving them tools and the skills to make wholesome decisions. So that's who I
Mm.
am in a nutshell and what I do.
Thank you very much. Funny
Thank you.
enough, when you were talking, something just came to my mind. So when I was in university, there was this foundation I started, but I didn't continue with it. So it was because of them. Where I grew up, I grew up in a very in the slum, and where I grew up, there were very little girls that after secondary school they went on to do something else. So most of them just got pregnant and started their family right from secondary school. So it was very few of us, like a very handful, maybe five of us. Is it or even up to five out of the whole neighborhood that
Community.
actually went out to probably go to the university or do something with their life and all. And so because of that, and when I interact with some of them that I still have like close relationship with, most of them don't see life beyond probably the marriage or something. And I used to tell my mom that I don't blame them. Somehow that was what they've been exposed to at that point. So that's like the height for them. So once they just
Yes.
finish secondary school, some of them don't even finish secondary school, they just get pregnant and that's it. And the last time we went for like an outreach there, I could see that a lot of them, they've given birth to 3 4 children. And these are girls, these are women my age. Let me not call them girls because me self I don't old. But yeah, these were women and the ladies my age, and that's just the only thing they are doing now. So this what you are doing is so
Thank you, ma'am.
important.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
very, very much. Like I could
Thank you. Thank
relate.
you.
I
Thank you,
could
ma'am.
relate.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So before we start, if anybody has questions, just be dropping it, chat,
Yes.
and we'll be
Yes.
taking it. Yeah. So I want to leave the floor to you. Today's topic is mistakes we are making with sex education of girls. You can start and let us. I'm all ears.
Hey, Mama, thank you so much once again. I didn't know you're not even a girl mom, but giving me the platform, thank you once again. So, I decided to do this tour because I feel like there are several parents that feel that they are getting it right, but they may not be, or they're
Hmm.
not doing enough for what they are teaching their children to become a choice their child makes. Let me take that again. There are many parents that do not know that what they are teaching their children is not yet enough to go from knowledge to action. I
Hmm.
see this a lot where a parent says, I've taught her now. She knows that if somebody touches her private part, she has to report. But then it happens and she does not report. So it means that there are still gaps. Don't
Yeah.
just say, I've done it. And many of us measure what we're doing for our children in direct comparison to what our parents did for us. So it means that if I do anything that is a little bit better than what my parents did, I think I've done enough. And so I'm starting
Hmm.
out today saying, it's not about saying my mother didn't do this for me, but I'm doing it for my kids. No, it's about saying, what do I need to do in order for my child to be able to make independent sexual independent sexual decisions
Decisions.
that are responsible on their own? The goal of sex education is I am educating and providing enough tools and skills for my child to be able to make responsible sexual decisions independently. We're not always with our kids. This evening in
Yeah.
the office, my kids are at home. If there's a device at home, will my child know not to look up something that is not responsible? If my neighbor comes across and knocks the door and asks my child to come out or let him come in, will my child know that, what are you coming in to do? Or will she say, whoa, this neighbor came to see us? And that's the beginning of drama. Will my child be able to take initiative and make a choice that protects her? The one I'm beginning to even see more of, will my child know that body safety education is not always about what other people do to them, but what they do to others? I've gotten a couple of reports where a parent calls, for example, and says, oh, the school called and said my daughter touched somebody. In the history of talking about body safety education, most of us think our children are
That's
always on
true.
the receiving.
That's
Somebody
very
wants to
true.
touch her. Somebody. So in my classes, I tell the girls, nobody touches you, and you too don't touch anybody. I don't know if you understand. So the goal
Yeah.
of this experience I'm having is to say, look, whatever we are teaching is not enough until our daughters can make sexual decisions that are responsible without any external influence, that they know how to do that. And so I've highlighted 30 mistakes they've made, and for every handle I'm going to share 5. The very first mistake I want to share with you here today is that parents live in denial. So let me explain how this happens. A parent can say, no, Irene, I'm not in denial. Oh. I know that the world is very bad. Though. So me, I've talked to my child. Yes, you have spoken to your child, but you live in the denial that your child can be a perpetrator. So when you're talking to your child, you're talking from what other people will do to you, how other people will influence you. You're not embracing the idea that your daughter can initiate, that your daughter can pressure a boy, that your daughter can be the one asking a boy to do things to her. You're talking about body safety, but you're still in denial at the extent of what your child can do. So this is how I look at it. When I'm talking to a girl, I'm not talking to her with the hope that she's a saint.
Jeez.
I'm talking
Yeah.
to her to be responsible. When I'm giving my daughter support, I'm giving my daughter support from the perspective that you meet a guy that you like you're crazy. You meet a boy in school that you crush on intensely. Don't express it like this. It's not always other people are coming to ask you out. So we are living in the denial that, oh, my child can't do this. Now, because we think our children can't do certain things, we're not giving them the education that it will take to make them not do it. So because of that, we are underestimating what sex education is. Number 2, many of our parents are not aware of the pressure, the real pressure that our children face to do wrong. Like, let me try to paint it. Since as adults, we know what social media does to us. You have a blender at home, it's blending for you. Then you come online and everybody has Gucci mix.
But Jimmy.
Then you go to Piggyverse, you start saving money.
Money.
But you have a
Yeah.
blender at home. It's giving you all the results, but you want Gucci mix. Why is it so? You're seeing it in many places. You're seeing it recurringly. It's coming to your mind. But here is the thing. With us adults, you can turn off your phone and swipe off and go. But with your child, they sit in the classroom with the people that pressure them 8
Yeah.
hours a week, 5 times a week. If they have a phone, when they come back from home, the pressure continues online. And these pressures are also happening in a home where they can't come to their parents and say, see what I'm dealing with. The mother will say, do you know what I've been through? I bet, can't you deal with yourself? So we are providing sex education without recognizing that somebody is cooking my child. These wrong decisions, somebody is first telling her that it's not that bad. Somebody is then telling her that here are the tricks, how you can do without getting caught. Somebody is telling her these are the ways to really enjoy it. Somebody is telling her your mother is uptight, your father is uptight. The pressures are a lot. And so we're not paying attention to how much pressure that they're living in, So we expect actions without realizing what will it take for my child to take that action that I desire. So from my observation, your daughter is going through intense pressure. So it means that the first time they call you up and say that your daughter did something wrong. You need to keep your ego aside and stop thinking that you're a failed parent. And look your child in the face and know that it's rescue time. And rescue time is not a time to tell the principal, my child cannot do this. Rescue time
Yeah.
is to understand the pressure that your child was in and the pressure that your child gave into. Do you get the idea? So
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
mistake we're making. We're not embracing the pressure. And so because of that, we are not giving the right support. The third thing I want to say is that we underestimate what it means to sit down and have a conversation with our girls. We underestimate the power. See, we underestimate what it means to sit down and have a common dialogue. And this dialogue is not confrontational. This dialogue is talk. It's through the dialogue that we know what they're dealing with, the pressures that are happening at school, what people are saying, what people are doing, the TV shows messing with their mind. Mama, you cannot know it living in your world. Conversations with our kids is like knocking the door and they let us in and we start to hear what the pressure points are for them. You cannot help a child you don't understand their pressure point. So we have to sit with them. We have to listen to them. We have to hear them talk. 2 weekends ago, on Easter Sunday, I always have my daughters and their best friends for the holiday, even if they come for a 2-3 day sleepover. It's my way of mentoring their entire circle. And so the girls know that Miss Irene is our pal. Like, and these kids are somewhere between 10 and 13, along with my two daughters. There were 4 of them, and they were with me for about a week. The 2 other girls were with me for about a week. And that Sunday evening, we sat down and started talking. And they started talking about their diaries. They now started talking about one time, one of them had a crush on a boy to the point that she thought they would marry, had written the names of the babies she will have. And they were now laughing at her. And I found out that 3 out of 4 of them had been in that experience. And we got talking. And from there, we started talking about, as we keep diaries, we don't take diaries to school. So what brought it out is that one of them took her diary to school and it became a thing. And they labeled her for it. And it was a difficult moment for her. And so when the conversation started, the other kids were laughing at her. I could see the tension with her. And I called and said, baby, come here. So what did we learn from it? And so we don't take diaries to school. I said, now you don't feel that crush for him. What do you think about the thought you had? She was like, she was thinking through the process to say, I shouldn't have made a big deal out of it like that. I don't have access to correct and parent at that level if I don't have that information.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
we underestimate the power of communication. The first thing I want to say that is a mistake is that we are not teaching to conviction. That's big English to say you're trying to get buy-in. So I'm on this live call to create awareness, but get people to buy in. So I'm here. I'm going to give them room to ask me questions. Many African parents want to pass instructions. They don't want to have conversations. They don't want questions asked. Oh, if you have sex before marriage, you're going to go to hell. But your daughter is looking at you. She's older than your marriage anniversary. How are you still here, mama? How didn't you and daddy make it to hell?
Go to
How
hell,
are you
yeah.
alive? So it's not practical. They know someone in the neighborhood who had a child out of wedlock. And while we want to uphold godly standards, I want children to know 2 things. God has a standard for us, and that standard is in our best interest. So when I'm trying to get buy-in, I don't present it that you're going to go to hell. I'm like, if you misstep, hell is here on earth. You start to experience a little bit of it with all the challenges that comes with being a little girl raising children, right? And in fact, pregnancy is not the only worst thing that can happen for girls. There can be shaming, there can be blackmailing, they can share your nudes online, there can be suicide, there can be other things. So I tell them this standard that God presents to us is really for our best interest. But here is the second part. I tell them grace is available, that God will help you. God will make it easy for you. The Holy Spirit is constantly telling you people to stay away from, shows not to go on. And I will tell my daughters, there are social media handles that are very popular that I don't follow because what they post is triggering. And so I don't want to go there. I don't want to have the wrong thoughts. I don't want to have wrong desires. And when I'm talking to my daughters, I tell them, this is me that is an adult. I'm telling you as an adult. So there is nobody on earth that can go without being influenced by anything and anyone. So now, because I can tell them that I have to take responsibility as an adult. It's no longer adults telling children, peer pressure, don't follow wrong company. I'm telling them even adults need that information. You get the idea? So
Yeah.
because of that, I'm building their conviction. I'm building their persuasion. I'm hearing their belief. It's in talking to them that I hear a child say, Mommy, I don't think it's a big deal. Oh. I think the heart wants what it wants. If you share your need, you know, you need to be ready to hear nonsense. But
Yeah.
in that nonsense, you will know what to use and teach the child. So if you want, you remember the reason we're doing this live now is so that children make responsible sexual decisions independently
Independently.
without, and you don't need to be there, she will know what to do. You don't need to go with her, she will know what to do. It's not only when her sister is there, she makes the right decision. She will know what to do. The goal of sex education is my 3-year-old will know what to do. My 6-year-old will know what to do. My 9-year-old will know what to do. And so before I talk about the last thing, I want to say that because of how passionate that I am about getting girls aged 3 to 17 to know what to do, I have this boot camp that I do now every holiday. I started in 2021, and the 9th edition is happening next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's called the Body Smart Girl Boot Camp. That means for a 3-year-old, there's sex education or body safety education. A 3-year-old knows that the moment that auntie or uncle that used to be so nice to her starts to talk anyhow, she will look at you and say, no, you're not supposed to do that. Because then we've educated her. So this boot camp is free. Oh, Mama, this boot camp is absolutely
It's
free.
free, oh.
It's free.
When,
It's for 3
when she
days, and
sent
the
it to me, I was
registration
like,
is
ah,
very easy. So I'm going to ask one of my colleagues that is on the call
yeah.
to post what it takes for people to register. You're going, please post it. And it says, I think it's, they need to send the word girl as a WhatsApp message to a particular number.
Yeah.
So one of my team members is going to post it now. Please, you could just help us pin it. All they need to
No
send
problem.
is send the word girl. That's the registration. Send the word girl to a particular number he's
I
going
would
to
also
post
do a
on.
separate post on it.
Yes.
Also. Yeah.
So the final thing I also want to talk about is that there is a skill that comes with sex education, and it's called self-awareness. You know, when we were growing up, we didn't even know that we're human beings. We thought that we just showed up. We didn't know that we were worth paying attention to. We didn't know the things that we liked. We didn't know. So, for example, now, if you're a woman and you know the kind of men that are your specs, even though you're a married woman, whenever you see someone that has that spec, something in your head will go off.
Yeah.
Hey, nice guy. But you have self-restraint to know that, Kilode, nice guy, come. I have my nice guy at home. Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
but now we need to start teaching our girls that to start paying attention to how they feel about certain things. So if you have a daughter that enjoys compliments, you need to teach her to be aware that you like compliment too, and then go use this compliment wound you. That means anywhere somebody is complimenting you, let's bring in another filter. And the next filter is, what's his motive for complimenting me?
Complimenting.
Otherwise, they will be carried away, make the mistake, and regret it. And that will be the cycle over and over again. But in self-awareness, the child starts to know that I like this thing and I'm falling for this thing. There's another part where the child learns about when they're vulnerable. So, for instance, when your teenager is having issues at home, they will crush on the crush and crush themselves, because in that moment they're looking for validation. So the awareness that I'm vulnerable right now makes your child know that by the time I start getting compliments from a guy, or I came online and somebody's listening to me, asking me questions, showing that they care, I need to know that I'm going to take it bigger than it should be, because I'm vulnerable. I'm passionate about raising self-aware girls. So for instance, I have 2 girls. My first is going to be 13 in a few weeks. My last child is going to be 11 in September. And so between 2 of them, they're so different. And I like it every time my second daughter will say, you know, our threshold is different. My threshold is not your threshold. And every time she says that, I feel like a proud mother, because they distinctly know themselves and they distinctly know what makes them different. I was talking to one of my family friends last night that my first daughter is one of those people that if you mistreat her, she's totally unruffled. She moves on, she ignores you. It's as if it didn't happen. And it doesn't have the same impact it has on her second sister. Therefore, sex education for her cannot be the same as
Same.
her sister. Her
Mm.
sister is the queen of sulking and tantrums and crying. Oh, this one hurt me, broke my heart. We need to be holding that one differently. So self-awareness helps you distinguish what I'm teaching this child and the other one. So you see, personality comes into display. So I'll
Mm.
finish sharing. Oh, sex education is so that our daughters can make wholesome sexual decisions that are safe, responsible, godly, independently. Whether I'm there, whether I'm not there, she will know
Not
what
there.
to do. That's
Yeah.
our own. The girl will know what to do.
Mm.
So I'm available to answer questions right now. Since
Please,
we're talking about time,
somebody
I'm
said,
happy to
okay.
answer questions right now.
Okay, somebody sent a question. I have three daughters, ages 11, 13, and 15. How do you tell your teenage daughter between 11 and 15 years old that now isn't the time to have sex, or give them room for kissing and other physical activities with boys?
How do you tell them? So first
Mm.
and foremost, I think you need to know something. You need to talk to them about puberty. You need to talk to your kids about puberty, body changes, emotions. So for instance, part of the changes that come with puberty is that the brain starts to make connection with the opposite sex. They start to feel something for the opposite sex. But did you know that any feeling they have during that age range doesn't last?
Mm.
That means they can crush on a boy this week, and it's as if they don't see him, they'll die. And by the next week, they're irritated by him. So, how many boys are they going to kiss? Knowing that the feeling in itself is fickle and the feeling in itself does not last. So, it's all about sitting down with your kids to say, do they want a teenage years where they have so many regrets, so many shameful memories? Sit down with adults and talk. And you kiss this boy and kiss this boy and kiss this boy, or you had sex with this one and this and this and this. And so, interestingly, we can show them that teenage years are a time where they practice self-restraint. I can feel something, but I don't act on it.
Mm.
And then,
Mm.
also watch how it ends for people who act on it. So 11, 13 to 15 is a time where they are learning about themselves. Like I tell girls that when you have a crush, right? Slow down on taking action and watch yourself and learn from yourself. So, for example, you had a crush on a boy, suddenly you don't like your hairstyle anymore. That's feedback for you. You're trying to edit yourself to fit what the boy wants. It means you don't value yourself. So,
Mm.
because now, funny, if I was raising 11 to 15-year-olds, I will not have this conversation once. It will be ongoing. We'll be chatting about it. And in repetitive chatting about it, I'll be shaping their beliefs gradually. And so when they have a crush, I'll tell them, tell me something you did. He say, well, da 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 da. And I'll start giving them feedback. Say, when you do this, this is what it means. So when you do this, this is what it means. And the truth is that the child did not know. So these things are not, don't do this. Really explain what is happening. This thing is short term. You may have more regrets than you can imagine. It's not even worth doing right now. And there'll be a right time to do it. But let me come to me, even though I don't want you to do this. Come to me with the thoughts you have. If you heard something, if you have a different opinion, if you have a question, I'm always happy to answer. You know, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
before you know it, the child is at peace to even choose. The child is at peace to choose what it is you're asking them to do. Remember, we're doing this to get buy-in. Sex
Mm.
education is to get buy-in, to get to the point where your daughter says, Mom, I don't want to have sex before marriage. We want
Mm.
to do buy-in.
Mm. Okay, please, I want to register my 9-year-old for the boot camp. Listening to you, I have not started though. I hope it's not too late to impart the appropriate knowledge to her.
No, no, no. It's not too late. We can start today. And you can start now. Let her join the boot camp next week. And let's take it from there.
I have a 2.5-year-old who is now
Two
learning
and a
how
half.
to, yeah, who is now learning how to properly speak and explain herself. How do I teach sex education to her? She's in preschool. I also notice she hates correction.
So there's, I think that the hating correction could also be connected to the fact that she's not yet fully able to communicate
Yes.
yet. To feel something, want to say it, and you're restrained, the limitation of vocabulary is one of the things that also causes a lot of tantrums in preschoolers. But we can start by telling her no, no. You can use simple words to say, if somebody wants to touch you here, it's a no, no. As long as the child can hear and understand, you can say no, no. You can use, excuse me, you can use signs, and but just keep talking to her repeatedly about it. you know for me, it's 3 years old that is the age for me, because at 3, they have some level of independence. They are doing some stuff in school alone. They can describe things. Even though their vocabulary is still limited, they can understand. I have a bunch of amazing 3-year-olds in my mentoring program. One of them makes me laugh a lot. So she will raise her hands. She will ask a question, or you will ask a question. She will answer you something totally different,
Different.
totally unrelated to what you're saying. But the confidence she has that she has answered the question, and for me, it's enough. Because for her, she's understanding it all. What you're saying, she gets it, but her limited vocabulary makes her say what she can say. You get the idea?
Yeah. Thank you. Recently, I discovered my 13-year-old wrote a love letter about a crush she had, and she's even beefing her classmate about it. I'm so afraid that what I taught her isn't enough. How do I go about it?
So you know that I don't know what you taught her. Did you teach her that when you have a crush, you don't tell the boy, you don't write a note? I don't know if you taught her that. Now, let's say you taught her that and she still did that. Find out why. Was it that the liking for this boy was different? Were there other girls that were interested in this boy and she wanted a head
Yeah.
start? You understand? And I know the things say your children if you do this kind of thing, but it will happen. So this time around, did she think that if she doesn't act, somebody will enter? So you start to tell her that this is the moment to tell her that if you get into relationships or force your way into relationship because there's some sort of scarcity, you're going to make the wrong decision. So you feel that
Yeah.
all the girls want him. I will always tell my girls, if all the girls want him, step back and look for what all the girls have in common. If all the
Mm-hmm.
girls are not properly raised girls, you can't join the bandwagon. Do you get? So if all
Yeah.
the girls like him, instead of trying to make yourself the one, step back and find out what do they all have in common. What do they like about him? What do other people who don't agree with those girls think about him? So it's a moment for conversation, not hitting, not swearing, not cursing, not saying you want to shame me. Do you know whose child you are? Whose
At
name
your
are you
age.
putting out there? Mm? It's not that. It's not like that. So it's conversation, honey. Why did you think for this particular one you needed to write a letter? Why did you think you should tell him? If you tell him, what do you expect from him? You want to get into a relationship with him? Why do you think now is the best time to go into a relationship? What are the benefits you think you're going to get from this? And then she will tell you. See, our biggest work as parents is to have relationship with our daughters and our sons, so that they can express their vulnerability to us. When they express their vulnerability to us, then we will know how to teach them.
Yeah.
Until we know what our child is thinking, sex education is over the bow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Until we know what they're thinking, what they're believing. We have children that when you're talking, not all, some of them when you're talking, they say, okay, they've heard you, and they go. You have the one that you're talking, they're arguing. Many of us prefer the one that says, okay, and they've heard you and they've gone. But that one that told you, okay, that they've heard you, many times they've already decided what
What
they
they
want to do.
want to do. Yeah.
And they've gone. But that one arguing is trying to consider how she's going to do what you're doing. So her question is actually on the path to compliance. So don't take that question to mean that she's resisting you. That question helps you to know, okay, these are the kinds of thoughts she's having that wants to negate the instruction I'm giving. So in allowing her express her thoughts, you collect the power. There's something I always like to say. Now the pikin where one learn, now in they argue. Now the one where one learn, now they argue
Right.
say, but what if this happen? It's because they've even taken in what she said. And we also
Yeah.
need to have the confidence that if I have spoken and we have conversed, the things I have said are seed. the child will think about it. Look at us adults. We still remember the things our parents told us. And even when we were young, we still had the things they said to us in our head. So just say what you need to say. Start having the conversations. Even if they say, but what if, but what if? You have changed something by having that conversation. And the fact that they open their mouth to say, Mommy, now, wow, why are you always doing it like this? Why do you always say it like this? That opening their mouth means that your words and your thoughts have entered their head. If it didn't enter their head, they won't open their mouth. So I hope that
Thank
helps.
you.
Yes, Mama.
Confession is asking, I saw the boot camp schedule, but we would have resumed school by then. Will replace be available?
Yes, there will be replays every single day.
Somebody is asking, do you have class for boys too? Because I have a boy and a girl.
I don't have a class for boys though, but there are amazing coaches that have classes for boys. Do you understand? I'm trying to type that message for how they can register. I didn't see my colleagues post.
Let me see if there are. Okay. Let me see if there are other questions. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot.
Thank you, Mama.
I think one of the things that you said that actually like touched me was when you said something about when something happened to your child, or they say your child does something, that you should keep your ego aside and not think that you're a bad parent, and go into rescue mode. I really like that, because I know a lot of us, everybody, we are all living in denial and thinking that our children are like the best children and everything, and once they do something, no matter how small it is, we go into this shell and think that defensive. Is that we are saying that no, my child cannot do it, or we are saying, or we are blaming ourselves that we are very bad parents and all.
Yes.
And I've gotten like a lot of DMs from a lot of moms like that. We had one, but that was a boy child, I think 2 weeks ago, when she said her son was watching something on YouTube and she felt like she has failed as a mom for him to be watching like a twerking video and all. And so that really got to me. When you said that, it really got to me. Which one again? I think when you said something about shaming, blackmailing, that grace is available, I really like that one too.
Thank you so much, Mama.
Yeah, if anybody has question, the recap of everything, she talked about parents living in denial, pressure from children environment, having conversations with them, self-awareness. I think those were the ones I wrote down.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
So
Thank you
please,
so much.
have you written the details? I want to.
Yes, I have.
Wait,
yes, I have. Send the
oh,
word girl via WhatsApp. Have you seen it?
Pin comments. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sis.
Thank you so much. Please, thank you so much, Miss. Okay. If you have questions, please. I know a lot of people say ask questions because a lot of us need like step-by-step guide and everything, and I think that's what the boot camp is going to do. So please, I'm going to drop like the flyer for the boot camp as a different post. So so let me see. There are no questions again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, is it just for girls? Okay, that's the formal.
Yes. Yes, for now, yes, the boot camp is for girls, so we don't want their parents yet. The parents are not serious. If we call them, they will not come. If you call the girls, they will rush the girls, but the parents will not come. So me, I don't want to even break my head. I'll just be talking to my girls, because I don't want to carry blood pressure because of parents.
So this is also virtual.
Yes.
For
it's online.
Yes, it's online. So they don't want you. It's your children they want. So please. Because if they tell people to do things now, people will be saying I'm very busy and everything and everything.
Yes.
I'm very stressed up. Okay, there are no questions again. Thank you so much, Irene.
Thank you so much
for doing this.
Please tag me in the collaborative post for the replay.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you for
Thank
having me. God bless you. Have a
you.
super
Thank you,
rest of the
everybody,
day.
for joining
Thank
in.
you. Thank you so much.